Hello everyone. Let me know if you can hear me. Obviously, if you can hear me, you can let me know, right? Hi, Luba Carlson's here. Time to start on the lesson today. And I apologize for the background noise. Kids are emptying the dishwasher. I think. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. Let me see. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Yay! Okay, good. You guys can hear me. So we are painting some lilies and lilacs today. Very simple painting. A lot of fun with that. Hi, Linda. Hi, Virginia. Hi, Lisa. So let's just start and let's just start. Okay. So I hope you have your transfer. I have my sketch right here. I have some lilies, and I didn't put lilacs in because they are just fluffy lilacs, nothing special for that. I am going to use probably my medium size flat brush, this one, and I'll probably use my shading brush, which is a small flat. And I was thinking, because it's been a few days since I painted this, I I think I'll keep it though. Okay, I was thinking I was gonna do it a different way, but I decided it's okay. Never mind. Never mind. And excuse me, you will need something that will make it easier to make spots. So either a super tiny flat brush, or maybe you could use. Oh, you know what? A Q-tip would work. If you don't have super tiny flat brushes, Q-tips work just fine for that. Okay, hold on, let me grab my paint. Here we are, they have arrived. All right, hi Sandy, hi, can't see from here, let me see closer, whoops. Hi Anna. Okay, so for the paints, you can use any colors you like really. The main idea here to make it look like spring and like really fresh, you just want to use cooler tones of your colors. So like what I mean by cooler tones is that if you have two yellows, you would probably have like a lemon yellow, this one, and a primary yellow, like that one. You want to mostly use lemon yellow to make your tones cooler, right? It looks cooler. Or let's say if you have a choice between, you decided like phthalo blue or cerulean blue or sky blue, right? So sky blue is a cooler tone, phthalo blue is a warmer tone. So you want to stick to cooler, sorry, you want to stick to cooler colors if you're doing your own colors, okay? Now I'm going to use lemon yellow today. Let's squeeze that. Lemon yellow, magenta. Whoa, that squeezed really a lot. I'm gonna use sky blue or cerulean blue to mix my violet and purple tones. I'm gonna need white. If it will squeeze for me. This bottle decided to fight me for some reason. There we go. We have white. And for your green, you can mix your yellow and blue here, and they will create nice fresh green for you if it's lemon yellow and sky blue. Or maybe you could go with the oxide green right here and just maybe add a little bit of yellow to it later just to make it a brighter color. Okay, so I'm just going to start right away without, any further delays. So what we're going to do, and hold on just a second, I forgot to erase one little piece. Just clean this up a little bit. There's some things showing that I do not want to. And since we're using a lighter color paint, I want to make sure that my pencil marks are under control. Like that. Maybe here a little bit. Okay. Let me see. Oops, I'm sorry. So my computer is still at the round table, so I kind of have to hop and look. So blue, sky blue or cerulean blue. Ultramarine is cooler than phthalo blue. Does this help? Cobalt is warmer. Ultramarine is cooler. Also, it's like with blues, I always think about what's it called? Frozen? Think Frozen. When you think about frozen colors, whatever that is, they're all cool colors there. All the blues in there, they're all cool. So like if it helps for reference. All right. So let's just get into it. I'm just going to start with my shader. Just a small flat brush, dip it in the water, get the excess out on a paper towel. I do not like having a whole lot of water on my brush. Oh my gosh, Catherine, that's true. Long time no see. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I see people. I see names that I know. I suspect, I shouldn't say I know. I suspect they will be happy to know that I'm gonna start doing art journaling again on YouTube. Gratitude art journaling, trauma healing art journaling, all of that good stuff. Starting not next week, starting what's next month? April. Yes, starting April. Okay, so let's move on to this. Here's what we want. We want to use some white, so get some white on your brush, and then get some lemon yellow on the same brush. And we want to get like very pastel yellow. And we're gonna start with the petals. So you see how there's two sets of petals, right? So these are on the top and the ones are on the bottom. So we're gonna get the ones that are on the bottom first. Just cover them in that yummy yellow color the best way you can. It's just the first coat, so just do your best to follow the petal line, but don't overthink it too much. Okay, and then get a little bit more white. You just want it a little bit lighter for the top petals, and then paint the top petals right on top, just like that. And this one goes right here, and there is a coneflower. I first painted this picture and then I realized that botanically it's all wrong because coneflowers do not bloom at the same time with daylilies. Now I'm taking some white and I'm adding more white to the petals that are on top. I really want them wow, I cannot say that word. Distinctively. Okay, you got my gist, okay? You know what I mean. I want them lighter. I've been talking a lot this week. I had two art immersion kid camps. One was on Tuesday, one was on Thursday, like full day, and then other things. And I feel like I've been talking all day. all week, really. Catherine says, "Yay, and journaling." I know, me too. I'm so excited. Hi, Colleen. Yeah, I mean it. I feel like everybody's schedule's been insane. Insane. It's just not working for people, right? I just realized that okay. And so like I have my first one and now I'm gonna do the second lily the same way. Second day lily. Starting with like a darker yellow for the petals that are kind of underneath. Right? Not gonna worry about that. Like if I'm getting out of, oh, that's the wrong one. I'm getting out of the lines a little bit, not a big deal. They're super loose flowers, okay? And then add some more yellow to it. And then just, oh my gosh, I can't talk. Y'all, seriously, like my brain is fried. Add some more white to it, not yellow. White to the yellow. Make it a little bit lighter or quite a bit lighter, whatever you like, okay? And then just make sure that the petals on top are quite a bit lighter. Okay. So yes, so I'm gonna start doing journaling on while I'm at the studio. So probably it would be Monday morning, and I'll just make a recording, and I'll be just putting up recordings because right now lives are not sustainable for the schedule. But I think recordings is better than nothing, right? Okay, so here we are. I'm going to grab some magenta and just bring it just a tiny bit, just like that. See, just a little bit. And bring it into the yellow and mix until you get nice orange. I think orange is not happening for me here because there's a lot of white, so this is rather pastel orange here. I don't like it. I'm gonna change that. Hold on. So just wipe my brush on the paper towel, and I'm gonna move it to the side a little bit. I'm gonna take some yellow, like two, maybe even three scoops of yellow, okay, and just a drop of magenta. Oh, okay, now we're talking. Now we're getting to the orange that we want. There we are. Maybe a little bit more magenta to make it more orangish rather than yellow. There we are. Okay. And I am just going to use the same brush. I'm going to bring it to the flat tip by taking it off on the side here. Or you can switch to a round brush if you would like to. But I am just painting my petals, not super carefully. I am just filling them in right now. Just kind of making sure that I know where these petals are. Just kind of staking the spots for them. Too much. Okay. Just keeping that brush on the side, using just the side of the brush. Okay. And now I'm going to use the same color and going to get those petals for the second coneflower. Because why not? Because we can. Okay, here. here, and I think I have another petal coming from here. Don't be afraid to make it a little bit loose. It doesn't need to be anything hard or, you know, super good. Like, make those petals weird shapes. Don't try and make them like they were, like you used a stencil, right? Because coneflower petals, they're not like after stencil. They really have the mind of their own. All right, so we have that. I'm gonna take some green on my brush, just on the corner here, and mix it a little bit into the orange right here that I have, in hopes that it would make brown, and it didn't. Normally, if you mix orange with orange and green, it makes brown. I think we just need a little bit more magenta in this mix to take us to brown. There we go. Now we're talking. Or you can just use burnt sienna or what's this darker one? I always forget. Burnt umber or burnt sienna or just dark brown. It works. Whatever brown you have works. Okay. And then just use that brown, and I'm going from the bottom up in super short strokes like that, just kind of getting that cone and getting it a little bit of texture while I'm doing that. Here's the other cone starting at the bottom, just kind of brushing this up just like that. Just bring it to a cone. And we're good. Okay. I think at this point we can rinse the brush. Rinse it very well. Sometimes it takes a little bit more of an effort to rinse the brush well. I don't usually have pieces of paper towel hanging like this, but I just cleaned out my bag that I teach. I have kids that I take my supplies to school, and I cleaned out my bag. I had leftover broke paper towels like that, so that's what I'm using. Don't usually have that, but this is nice. They're small and very easy to use. All right, so now let's add some shading to the lily. Going back, and we're gonna grab just straight lemon yellow, okay, and add just some shading to petals. So we do not want it to be like the same color. So not the whole petal, you're not covering the whole petal, but we're just adding some shading to the petals that sit on the top. Okay, and then we're gonna do this for the second flower as well. Just on the outside of your petal. That's all you need, just a little bit, almost not dry brushing, but super light motions. Now, while we still have some yellow on the brush, or maybe even get a little bit more, just make sure that your brush has some yellow on it. Dip it into magenta, just a little bit. See? Tiny bit. And then we're going to add the magenta shading. So it's just a curvy line, and I'm starting with the petals that are on the top, just like that, okay? Then I'm gonna wipe it on the paper towel And then I'm gonna blend it in a little. Blend it in all the way down the petal. Okay, and now I'm gonna repeat. So I'm gonna have some yellow on my brush, get a little bit of magenta, and I'm gonna repeat with the petals that are on the bottom, doing the same thing. Blend it in. They can look a little bit more red or maybe a little bit more orange, depending on what you like. Daylilies have a variety of options of what they look like. So there's pretty much the sky is the limit on how you can do that, right? Okay, and now we're gonna do the other one, the other flower, same way. And it's okay if some spots are a little bit more orangish than the other. That's okay. It's not a big deal. There we go. There we go. Okay, so we want this to dry. I'm gonna rinse my brush and mix some purples for our lilacs. These are super easy lilacs. We're not gonna go into a lot of detail on lilacs, right? We're just gonna paint little flowers. And we're gonna do that. Let's mix our purple first. Let's get some magenta off to the side. And some sky blue. And mix. Now, if you have your own purple, just use it. But I just like mixing colors, you know. If you paint with me, you know I like mixing my own. So I have 2 parts of magenta and 1 part of sky blue, and it made this super nice dark color. I really like it. I think lilacs could be lighter, right? But I think also that like there is this back tone for lilacs that I personally really like. Oh, Lisa, am I so fast? I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, you guys can always watch the replay. Okay, or I could slow down, you know? Maybe I could just slow down. All right, let's try. Maybe I can slow down. Okay, lilacs. So we have a bunch here in this corner, a bunch here, and then a bunch below. So I'm gonna start with the one in the top left corner, filling up my brush. And you're just gonna press the brush down 4 times, forming a flower. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Whoops, I kind of dropped the brush, so I happen to have 5. So there's another 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, just 4 flowers. 1, 2, 4 petals, 3, 4. All we need, we're just making the darker background for the lilacs flowers so that we can see them. 2, 3, and 4. And sometimes lilacs would have 5 petals on them, so sometimes it's fun to add 5. And sometimes you only can see 3. So in some spots, you can just add 3. Just like that. Doesn't need to be hard or anything. Okay. So now I'm gonna move to my top right corner and just do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just put some petals on here. Refilling my brush as I go. Really enjoying this. Move my paint over to the side where it makes sense to have it. And just keep adding those flowers until you get to the point where you think that, okay, that looks good, I'm good. Yeah. Okay. And I'm gonna add some on the bottom. Colleen says I have to watch live and then rewatch later and paint the project. Yeah, I think it's one of those things because it's hard to, like, I go fast because I know what I'm doing, right? But you guys don't know what I'm doing. So it can be hard to anticipate what's going to be happening. And because I don't see you, I cannot adjust my speed to everybody. Okay, on the bottom here, going for more lilac flowers. Okay. Now while these are drying, we're going to add a little bit of color to the cornflower. So we'll use some of this purple. And we need to brown it up. So let's put some green in there. Just so that it's browned. Turn it into brown. Yep, there we go. You don't have to mix it. You can just use dark brown and it'll work just fine. As I said, I really like mixing colors that I'm using, so it really does help a little bit for creative expression. Using the same tiny brush I just used for the flowers, I'm just gonna add little kind of fluffy strokes from the bottom going up to fill up the cornflower with those little seeds. Fluffy. Not so fluffy though, they're almost sharp sometimes. Right? But you can just fill that and it kind of adds texture to your cone. So we have some texture. I'm gonna wipe down the brush. I can avoid adding water I will. Don't like adding water to my brush if I don't have to. Okay, now I'm gonna use, let me see, what am I gonna use? Yes, I'm gonna use my palette knife and grab some white and just mix it directly into this purple that we have to make a lighter purple. And my purple is getting like a little bit of a, looks beet purple with beets, beetroot undertones. So I think I'm gonna add some more blue to this. It's a little bit too red. And I want it to be more on the lavender side, so I'm adding a little bit more blue. Yes, it's getting there, maybe a little bit more. Let's see, don't want it too blue. There we go. Uh-huh. There we are. Okay, so I'm gonna use this lighter purple. Wipe this off. Okay. So I'm using this lighter purple and I'm gonna go back to my lilac flowers and find the areas where there is white in between and start layering this on top and in between of the other flowers that we just did. Just like that. Okay, still leaving a little bit of white space in there. It's okay. We're going to add 2 more layers. Going lighter and then lighter still. And then go away with like almost white, so really 3 more layers. So we're going to fill this up. Okay, bring this all the way to your coneflower. And then also bring it all the way to your lily. Like overlapping. Overlapping so that you can see that flowers are everywhere. I'm gonna go back to the first one and add some more, just kind of crowding a little. Okay, I'm going to the one on the bottom here. Just covering the space. Our weather went insane today and yesterday. It decided that it's time for winter to come back. It wasn't much of a winter, honestly, but somehow it decided that Yesterday and today would be a good time to bring more snow and, all the weather. All right. We're gonna let that dry for a few, and I'm gonna clean my brush. Okay. Let's get rid of that. All right. So next thing I want to do is that petunia right here. It's pretty big. It's not up to size, so this is not botanically correct, right? It's just a bright piece of flowers. And for that, we're going to be using white and magenta together on the same brush. Okay, and we're going to be making strokes that will show up as petals. So I'm trying to see if this would be useful. On a clear plate here. Why not? Let's try and do that. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. If not, I'll just do that with the regular paper or something. I'll find something. So just my medium brush, flat brush. I put it in the water first. Now I'm taking excess of water into the paper towel. And I'm going to fill it up with white, both sides. Oh, I'm in Nebraska, Anne. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska. Okay. And magenta on one side. So we have a lot of paint here. And what we're going to do is we're going to start on the outside of the flower, and we will just follow the pattern of the petal, okay? So you kind of press the brush down and go wave and wave a little bit and then bring it to the center. And then maybe get some more white, maybe a little bit more magenta, and then you go and do that again. Yeah, and then on the other side, and on the other side, and maybe add some more paint to your brush, especially if the color starts blending in. And so that's how we do those petals. And then we're going to grab more magenta. And now the second coat is going to be petals that are smaller in size. So we'll just, this is super satisfying on a clear plastic plate. You should try it. This is fun. It worked much better than, sometimes on the canvas. This is fun. I like that. Yeah. So this is pretty much what we're doing. So fill your brush with white, get some magenta on it, and just start with the outer circle. Okay, I'm gonna make my flower super big because I don't know, I just want a super big flower. If you want a super bright pink, then maybe use a neon pink if you have access to that. But yeah, I'm just trying to use the colors that I have, or that normally you guys would have. Neon pink is not something that people usually have. Okay, so that's my first coat. I'm gonna take it off a little bit on the paper towel because I really want more magenta and less white. So I'm gonna fill up my brush with magenta first now for the second coat, for the second layer, sorry, not coat, second layer. Mostly magenta and then some white. And now I'm gonna start at the center again and make them smaller, maybe smaller petals. So I have 5 on the bottom layer and I have 4 in the top layer. And now I can add some more white to my brush and like try and make like tiny, tiny petals, right? Just tiny, tiny. So there's 1, there's 2, 3, maybe 4 right there. So just layer them and try to avoid trying to blend them in. Just layer the way they come, and that's it. I'm gonna take the excess of paint on the paper towel because it's easier than to clean my brush. And now I'm gonna clean my brush. All right, going back to the super tiny brush, gonna add a little bit more white to the purple that we have been using. Make it lighter. And I want it much lighter, so I'm just gonna move it over some of it to the white. I really want it much, much lighter. There we go. So yeah, just add the water as much as you need, or not the water, the white. Add some white as much as you need. Okay, now I'm going after this super light lavender tone color, and I'm gonna use it to fill in all the spots where there's flowers missing on my lilacs. I'm gonna mostly do 4 petals, and then for some, I'm gonna do maybe 1 or 2, 5, and maybe 3 or 4, which will have 3 petals. Okay, go to the other side. Chances are you're going to pick up some of the background color, and that's okay. It will just make it look better. There, and just add a burst of lilacs right here. There we go. The lilacs remind me a lot of how we painted the hydrangea project a while back. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. It's the same easy to do beginner flower. And it's the same way we did the flowers in the background for the monarch butterfly. The same thing. Okay. All right, now I have a little bit of this left. That's probably not what I want, though. No, that's not what I want. I want to rinse my brush. Rinse, rinse, rinse. Okay, now using the same little brush, I'm gonna grab some magenta and I'm gonna add some splatters of magenta color onto the coneflower petals. And I mean splatters, just don't overthink it, just add some lines, okay? This one is on top of the other one, so we can just do that. Just super light. Just add some color to the petals here. Okay. And then I just wipe it off on the paper towel and I'm going for the darker purple that we have left. So I'm gonna grab the darker purple and just do the same thing but lighter on my hand with the same pine coneflowers. Almost said pine cones. Wow. Okay, with the same coneflower, just add a little bit of light and color. To the petals. It will make your petals stand out a little bit more. Just adds more interest, I think, to it. Yeah. Colleen said, I thought they'd never look right, but I did it how you said, and I loved it. Oh, I'm so glad you loved them. It's so good. I'm so happy that it works. Okay. Wiping off the brush on the paper towel again. Grabbing the lighter purple that we used for the lilacs. Take most of the color off on your palette so you have a dry brush. You're gonna add a little bit of this, just a little. You don't want to cover the whole cone. Just add a little bit of this color to the cone. I'm looking for the third one, but it's hiding behind the red flower. So we're good. Okay. Now we need to make some brown again. So the best way to mix brown is to mix all your primary colors together. So that would be red, red, yellow, and blue. So I'm just gonna grab and let's see what happens, yeah? Orange. Okay. They always say just mix them together and you'll get a brown, right? And that's why they always tell us not to put all three colors at the same time on the palette when little kids are painting, because that's exactly what's gonna happen. They're just gonna make brown. Brown mud. There we go. I like this one. This looks good. This looks good. Okay, so for the next step, you might want to switch to a small round brush if you have one. It will just make your life a little bit easier, I guess. So let's do that. I don't think I said at the beginning that we would need one, but I think it makes sense here. So small round brush, make it wet, get some brown color on it. We're gonna make stamens for the lilies, and they're super easy. You just start at the center and you kind of draw a line either way, kind of maybe a bent line, and then you just kind of dab your brush on top of it to make a stamen. And that's it. And then you can try and do it in a different direction and then different direction. Okay. And just like a couple are just dabbing on, and then a couple are going to have super short stick, leg, I don't know, stem, I guess. And then we're going to do the same thing for the lily here on the bottom. Just adding little stamens. Don't overthink it. Just put it on there. Like dab, 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 and then add a support for it. Yeah, a stem. Stem for stamen. Okay? And then I really like to take my brown and mix a little bit of purple into it, because it gives you like a different shade of brown. And then I use a very light touch, okay? And we're gonna add the tiger lily stripes on the flower. I like mine to be just in the middle, just where we put the shading with magenta. Super light hand. Just follow that direction of your shading. Try not to make them all like the same size, because they really are not. They're like freckles, really. Freckles are never uniform. They're all different. Trust me, I know. I have a lot of them. Okay. That's the benefit of being a redhead. Okay. And then the other side here, meaning the second flower. Just as you go, just go dab, dab, dab. Dab, dab, dab. Nothing doesn't need to be. Touch, touch, and move on. Touch, touch. Maybe even like some petals will have just a little bit of those dots. And some petals are heavier. It works. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, now let's outline our petunia flower first. Let's just do that. So I'll be using the round brush, the small one, and just straight magenta. Just get some magenta, and I'm going to start with the petals that are inside this time. Just go and do my best. I don't need it to be perfect. I just need to kind of shape the petals so that they are shown as separate petals. Okay, and then I'm gonna go up and do that for the other ones. Okay, and then doing the outline for the outside layer, the outer layer of petals. Okay, now adding some shading on the inside. So just lines like this, like rounded lines. Pretty much drawing a flower right now with the brush. Just adding some shading to it. Just making sure that every petal has it. Okay. All right, let's do the background. Background, we want the super bright green. So I have green oxide here and I have lemon green, so lemon yellow. So I'm just grabbing some lemon yellow right here and dropping it exactly into this green oxide. And I don't know if the camera is showing it to you very well, but the color is becoming brighter and more spring-like, more chartreuse kind of color. And this is why I like mixing my own colors. Okay, so this is what we have, this is what we need. You can use any small brush for this because we're gonna need to get in between the petals. There's really, like for this one, there's really no right way or wrong way to move the brush and create your strokes. The messier, the better. Okay, so this one I did with the round brush. It worked okay. Now I'm just gonna keep using the small flat brush because that's what I have in my hand. And why not? So I'm just gonna start over there in the corner. I'm gonna start applying, just moving, pat, 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 just like this, getting in all the spots. This will take a little while and that's okay. Probably be a little bit more careful around the lily, but still want to do the pat, 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 and find like everywhere where I have a whole lot of space, white space, I want to paint it green, make it happy. Just as Dory said, Dory told us all the truth, right? Just keep swimming. So just keep going. Just keep going. Around your flower, everywhere. Just filling this in. So the temptation is very big to just go like left and right and change the pattern I've started. But I'm kind of committed, and so I'm going to continue with this. If you feel like you maybe need to switch to a larger brush, that's okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's not drip anything. So there we go. Here we are. Just keep going. My son is jamming his music in his room. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. There is no way I can go and do something about it right now, but if you can, and it's bad, I'm sorry. Life with teenagers. He just turned 13 a couple months ago, in February actually, not even a couple months ago. He just turned 13. So teenager and is full on. And this was my cat who believes he needs to be fed every time he sees me. And I am really trying to convince him that that is not the case. That's not how it works. Okay, moving back up. Okay. Catherine says that is coming together beautifully. I plan on painting this tomorrow or Sunday. Yay! Yay! Awesome. So I'm just going back and like making sure that the lines around the petals are nice and smooth. There we go. And then we can just move on to keep doing just filling in the background. So So sometimes we start painting with the background, right? And sometimes we don't do that. I did not want to do the background here first because it's very hard to neutralize that bright green. If we have that as a background and it goes, and let's say it went somewhere we don't want it to, it's not impossible. Well, it is possible to neutralize it with grays and then paint over, but it takes much longer. And I really appreciate shorter sometimes. Okay, so yeah, super careful around the petals for the coneflowers because there isn't much space, but it doesn't mean it cannot be done. Just carefully. I'm really enjoying the texture that's coming out from this little brush from doing this way. It takes forever, right? But it's just the texture that's coming out of it is amazing. I really, really like that. Okay. Get in there, like 3/4 done. Okay, now around the petal, just making sure it's got in nicely. And then back to texturing it to where we want it. Okay, getting there, almost done. Me almost done with the background. All right. Woohoo. Boom. Right? Okay. So the next step is to clean up the brush. Then we're gonna add some almost white flowers to the lilacs. And then we're gonna do white outlines where they need to be. And then we'll add black. And I think black is gonna be our last step. So clean out your brush real well. Yeah. Like get your white, real white, just white, and just put it in places where you think there is a flower missing. There are some spots that are obvious. We obviously left a gap, and that's okay because we're layering more and more little flowers on top. Oh, that's a 5-petal one. Okay. And maybe here and here. Okay. Looks good. All right, I want to use my small round brush because I'm gonna need to we're gonna outline the lilacs. Okay, so just a small round brush and add some water to your white paint. Make sure it's clean white paint and bring it to consistency of melted ice cream. I think like that. I think this is perfect. All right, so in my lilacs, I am first going to make sure that I do not put any green paint on my sleeve. Because I just did that. Touched on my arm though, not on my sleeve. It's like the first time I'm wearing the sweatshirt, and so I'm really going to hope that I'm not gonna paint it green the first day I wear it. Okay, so make sure you're working around your wet areas. Okay, so I'm gonna paint the lily that I have close to me, and then I'll flip the canvas. So I'm just starting right here, and I want to first outline the petals that are on the top. Just with white paint, nothing else. Okay. White paint. And like this petal right here has a fold, so I'm doing the petal, and then I'm gonna work around the fold. And now I'm going to do the petal that's behind, kind of hiding behind that. I've been calling it petunia. I don't know why. Does it even look like a petunia? Okay, and then here. So we've got that one. Now let's flip this around. and do the other. You go all the way down, and here to there. Like that, and right here, right here. Okay, and then the back, and the back. Just the petals. Like you don't need to go around the coneflower or anything else. Just the petals. There. A little bit of white changes the whole thing. Yeah. Now let's add a little bit of white to the petals of the coneflower. And when I say a little bit, I really mean a little bit. So like for the whole flower, you're gonna choose 2 petals that get a little streak of white, and that's it, and nothing else. Okay. So here's one, and then this one, and then I'm gonna give a highlight to this petal and this over here, and then doing the same thing down there. That's it. Okay, and just leave it. Leave it. Okay, now I want to add some highlights to the flower here. So I'm just going to work around the petals right here, right across from everything. I just want it like that to be, I guess I just wanted to have it a little bit brighter, and so this really helps. And the little ones, there we are. I'm going to clean my brush, and we're going to use some black now. Let's get some black. Can't mix my black. Right? Just a little bit, you don't need a lot. If my bottle would allow me to get a little bit, that would be great. Maybe some other time it will. But today it's not willing to cooperate. Let's try again. There we go. It worked. Okay. So we're gonna do a few things with black. So number one, our flowers need centers. The lilacs need centers. So maybe not a lot, maybe not every flower, but just add some centers to them to kind of help them ground themselves, and so that they are flowers. Honestly, I haven't seen lilacs in a long time. We used to have a lot back home where I'm from, and then I lived in Texas for 11 years, and then I finally moved to Nebraska. Well, we all moved to Nebraska, and I haven't seen lilacs yet. I need to go to Lilacs and Gardens probably sometime this spring. Probably I will be there in May or something, because flowers, everything's gonna be blooming. Lilacs and Gardens are just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous to be at. So I use your small round brush. Okay, bring your bristles together if it's separating, if it's not behaving. And put some paint right on the tip of your brush, and we're going to add a little bit of black streaks. So remember how we put some purple and some magenta on our petals? So the black streaks are going right in between there, like kind of adding the direction for our eye so that our eye knows which way to look, looking for those petals, because there is a lot of color happening, right? And sometimes brushes, they just do not want to cooperate, so you kind of have to squeeze them together again. Just a little bit. You don't need a lot of black on these. Okay, and then we go back to the cone itself and just add little streaks, just like we did with freckles for the lily, for yes, for daylilies. Just add a little bit of black to the cones. You still want to see all the other colors, okay? And finally, the flower, the red flower, the petunia, the whatever it is, it gets the center. And so what I like to do is I like to make like some streaks like we did for the coneflower, just going up like that. And it's gonna mix a little bit with the white and it's all good. So just add some of those and then add cross motion, like adding some stamens like we did for lilies. And so it will just add nice center to your flower. Oh, I forgot there is another coneflower right here. Hello. It's a little bit too much. And that is it. That is it. This is our painting for tonight. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions while I'm taking the tape off, because I really want to take the tape off and see how it looks without, what it looks like without tape. And the tape doesn't want to remove easily. Of course it doesn't. Here we go. Okay, yeah, it's not. I did it last time too. I tried to take the tape off. Like, it seems like such a great idea using office tape on these. But then peeling the tape off of the board, that's really when the biggest problem comes to me. Okay. So here we go. Here's another. And one more. Didn't pick up the tape. Hold on. I really want to take it off the board. Although my table is so messy that probably it won't make any difference. It's been a while since I replaced my table cover. There. Okay. I'm happy. It is super bright. I like it. I love it because it's so bright. Okay. All right. So here we are. I hope you guys had fun. If you have any questions, let me know. I will send out an email on art journaling that's going to start in April. So if you're not on email list, just go to my website, lubacarlson.com, and there will be a pop-up. We'll show that it will invite you to join Sunday letter, so that this is how you get to know what's happening. Level 2 will be uploaded on Monday. It's 3 super cute gnomes this time. So if you're curious about that, it's buymeacoffee.com/Luba Carlson. And then it's there. Okay, so Colleen says, thanks so much. I'll post when finished. Okay, so yes, I'll see you next time. Bye.